So in this video, we will be discussing about the message digest, which is a kind of an algorithm which provides the security, uh, and it provides the security in terms of the second principles of security, that is the integrity. Now, previous to that, we have seen that we have a kind of an algorithm which is known as digital signature algorithm, in which asymmetric cryptography is being used. And but the disadvantage of the asymmetric cryptography is that it is very it's a kind of an algorithm uh, which is very complex, used to take more time for the encryption and the decryption is concerned. Of course, it is going to overcome the uh, shortcomings of the symmetric cryptography. But besides that, we have another algorithm which is known as message digest algorithm, which is used for hiding the message. But in this particular case, what is being done, we have a message which will be of a very big size. We try to obtain the signature of that message or hash value of that message, and for that particular purpose we adopt a message digest algorithm to calculate it. And what is being done, the original message along with the message digest or the hash value is sent to the receiving end. Whenever receiver is going to receive that message along with the hash value, what it does, whatever message he has received, it tries to find out the message digest of the same message which is being received, and then the calculated message digest at the receiving end is compared with the message digest which came along with the message itself. If they are compared, and if these two values are same, the receiver will be able to know that the message which he or she has received is unaltered. Whatever sender has sent, as it is, it has been received. So confidentiality is, if not a criteria, if we have not to maintain confidentiality, and if we have to take care of the second principle of, that is security, that is integrity, in which there should not be any alteration. If we have to go for that particular principle of security, then the message digest algorithm is applicable. So as far as the concept of the message digest is concerned, it is also called the hash, uh, which is a unique representation of a message, and it is very much similar to the fingerprint of a human. As you see that every human is having different fingerprints. As many as user or human being are there, everybody is having different fingerprint. The concept or the idea of the message digest is very simple. uh, uh, you have this kind of idea is adopted in the networks whenever you are studying the computer networks. uh, Whenever we are sending the data bytes, uh, we try to check whether the data bytes which has been sent from the sending end and which is being received at the receiving end, whether it is as it is or there is some change. And for that you will be using longitudinal redundancy check or cyclic redundancy check. This kind of things you were using. And what you do, you just count the parity bit and attach a certain bit which is the parity bit along with the message and send it to the receiving end. And whenever receiving end receives it, it tries to find out whether the same thing is happening on the receiving end or not. Very much similar to that, it is the message digest. So what the idea of the message digest is to hide the message from the hash value which is being calculated. And this is a very simple example in which 7391743 is the number, and if we have to calculate the message digest of this, that is coming around 6. And this can be calculated by multiplying first two numbers and then discarding the first number, and then the whatever number is remaining is multiplied by the next number, and then the next number is multiplied by the next number. So now 9 and 7 will be multiplied, it will be 63. 6 will be discarded and will remain with 3, and 3 will be multiplied by 4, so we will get 12. 1 is discarded, so we are left with 2. 2 is multiplied by 3 and we are getting 6. So message digest is 6. So the idea is that 7391743 has the fingerprint or the hash value 6. So it means whenever we have a particular number, we can find out the small hash value for that particular number. By knowing 6, it is very difficult to find out 7391743. But with this value, it is easy to find out the message digest. Now, as far as the concepts of the message digest is concerned, that the message digest algorithm should be such that we have an original message, and that original message, if it is applied message digest algorithm on this message, we should get a limited size message digest of the message. Now, whatever message digest algorithm has been developed, we have certain requirement, and based on that requirement, the message digest algorithm has been framed. Now, the first thing is that we have an original data, and if we have an original message, and if we apply message digest algorithm, we will be able to find the message digest. This is the first requirement. Meaning hereby, for any kind of the message, there should be possibility to get the message digest algorithm. Message digest algorithm should be designed in such a way that any kind of message you are able to find out message digest. The second requirement of the message digest is, if you know the message digest, it is very difficult to find out the original message, because, and for that particular reason, the message digest algorithm should not be reverse. Meaning thereby, if we as we do in the encryption and decryption, when we encrypt any message, we are able to decrypt to get the original message. But the message digest algorithm has to be designed in such a manner that even though if you know the message digest, it is very difficult to get the original message itself. So this is the second requirement. The third requirement is that if we have two different messages, and we apply message digest algorithm on two different messages, whatever message digest we will be getting, that should also be different. Meaning thereby, for the different messages, every time whenever message digest is calculated, it should be different. So this is the third requirement. Now, the message digest difference means that if an original message differs minutely, even though the message digest should differ dramatically, and that is why this gives the guarantee about the uniqueness of the message digest. For any kind of message, whatever message digest is calculated or obtained by applying the message digest algorithm, it will be the unique value in the form of a hash value or the message digest value. It should be unique. Meaning thereby, it is not possible that if we have one message M1 and there is another message M100, it is not possible that M1 and M100, whatever message digest is obtained, it will be different. It cannot be same. So this is an example of a message digest, that if this is a message, we have message digest. This, if the message is changed from today to tomorrow, the message digest is also going to change. So meaning thereby, two message digest cannot be same for two different messages. For same messages, you will get the same message digest, but for different messages, even there is a minute change, you will get the different message digest. And that is why message digest give the unique identity of the message. Now, the message digest algorithm is concerned, as I told you, that it is very much similar to the fingerprint, and we have two algorithms for message digest in the form of a message digest. One is MD5 and second one is SHA, secure hash algorithm, and first one is message digest. Out of these two, secure hash algorithm is considered to be more stronger than the message digest algorithm. Now, as far as the development of message digest algorithm is concerned, message digest algorithm was developed by Rivest, and what they have done, they started working on the message digest algorithm, and they started the first version of the message digest algorithm was the MD. Then they came to know that there are certain shortcomings, so they come with the MD1, then MD2, then MD3, then MD. These are the certain versions of the message digest algorithm, and finally, when they revise the message digest algorithm, they find that MD5 is the ultimate message digest algorithm. So that is why MD5 means it is the fifth version of message digest algorithm, and it is used in practice. Now this has been explained already, that if we have two different messages, uh, we are going to obtain the message digest should not reveal anything about the original message. Now this how the algorithm works. It starts from here. Now the first process of applying the message digest algorithm on the messages, the first step is padding. What this padding means and how it is being done. We have certain size which is available with the original message, and we do padding with this original message, and the padding will be from either of 1 bit or from 1 bit to 512 bit. The padding is being done, and then after the padding is done, the original message is added with the padding bits. But how much bits will be padded with the original message, it depends upon the length of the original message and what we want to do after doing the padding. What we try to adopt in the padding process, that whatever is the length of the original message, we want to make the length of the original message 64 bit less than the multiple of the 512 bit. Whatever is the size of the original message, it should become of a size which is 64 bit less than the multiple of 512 bit. For example, after padding, the original message plus padding should be either 448 bit, or it may be 960 bit, or it may be 1472 bit, or so on. Why it is so? Because we have to make this original message plus padding 64 bit less than the 512 bit multiple of 512 bit. So if multiple of 512 bit is 512, so 512 minus 64, that is 448 bit. Meaning thereby, if the original message is of the size of 400 bits, then how many bits padding is being done? We will add 48 bit padding, so that the original message plus padding will become 448 bit, which is 64 bit less than the 512. If the original message size is suppose 900 bits, then what we have to do, we have to pad number of bits so that the original message plus padding will be 64 bit less than the multiple of 512 bit. Now the second multiple of 512 is 1024, and 1024 minus 64 is equal to 960, and if the original message is 900 bits, so padding is done for the 60 bits. And what values are being padded? The first bit should be 1 and the rest bit will be 0. So this is important to do the padding. Padding is always done, while padding is always added, even if the original message is already a multiple of 512 bits. Suppose, for example, if the original message is itself is a 448 bit. Suppose original message is of the size of 448 bit. This 448 bit original message is already 64 bit less than the multiple of 512 bit, even though we will do the padding process. And how much padding will be done? We will done the padding of 512 bits, so that 512 bit plus 448, so that it will become 960 bit. We will do the padding in 448 bit, so that it will become 960 bit. Suppose the original message is of 447 bits. Then what we have to do? We have to do the padding of only 1 bit, so that it will become 448. But if the original message is of the size of 449 bit, then what we have to do? We have to add the number of bits, so that it will become 960 bit, and so on. So this is how the padding is being done. Second one is appending the length. After doing the padding, original message is added with the padded bits. Now we have to append the length, so that original message plus padding plus length will become the multiple of 512 bit. and this length is represented in the form of a 64 bit. And what is that 64 bit? Whatever is the size of original message, this size of this original message is represented in the 64 bit form. For example, suppose the original message is of 1000 bits. So 1000 will be represented in the form of a 64 bit, so that original message plus padding plus the length which is added as the form of a 64 bit will become the multiple of 512 bit. Now, if the original message is, the length of the original message is so big that you are not able to calculate, you are not able to represent it in the 64 bit form, then what we will do? We will do the hashing process. What we will do? We will take only the last 64 bits of the length which is being used. So, meaning that anyhow we have to represent the size of the original message in the form of a 64 bit, and then this original message plus padding plus the length will become a multiple of 512 bits. Now, step number 3 is dividing the input into 512 bit block. Now, in the first process we are adding certain bits so that it will become 64 bit less than 512 bit, and then in this we are adding 64 bits, so the length will become multiple of 512 bit, and that is why the data which is to be hashed, the message which has to be hashed, is broken into the blocks, and each block will be of the size of 512 bits. So this is the third step. Fourth step is to initialize the chaining variable, and for that we will be considering 4 different variables A, B, C, D, and these variables are named as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where these values are represented in the hexadecimal form. So this is 4 bit, this is 4 bit, 8 bit. So A variable will be having 32 bit, B variable is having 32 bit, C is 32 bit, and D is 32 bit. So in abstracted form, A, B, C, D is 128 bit. If we combine A, B, C, D, it will be 128 bit. And to remember, it is very easy to find out what will be the value of the variable. You start writing hexadecimal number right from 0 to F, and then write the hexadecimal number in the reverse order from F to 0. So you will be getting the chaining variable value. So step number 5 is to process the blocks. These variables A, B, C, D is copied into different variable from A, B, C, D. So these chaining variables are copied into another variable A, B, C, D. Now the process block, the step number 5, which is 5.1, if we abstracted view, if we want to see an abstracted view, it is 128 bit, and internally it is A, B, C, D, and each A, B, C, D is 32 bit. So 32 bit, 32 bit, 32 bit, 32 bit, it will become the 128 bit. Now the process block, which is the step number 5. Now each block which has been, the total message has been divided into the block number 1, block number 2, block number 3, and each block is of the size of 512 bit. Now in this, each 512 bit block is broken into the sub blocks, and each block will be of 32 bit. So it means in 512 bits block 1, we have 16 sub blocks, and each sub block will be of the size of 32 bit. Now the process block. These 16 sub blocks, along with certain constant value, along with this chaining variables value, it is applied to the one round, and there are such 4 rounds in MD5. So in one round, what we do, we manipulate the value of 16 sub blocks along with certain constant value as well as with the chaining variable value, and this is being manipulated, processing is being done in round 1. What is that? What is that round, and what is happening in that round is explained over here. Now this is one MD5 operation which is being represented. We have 4 chaining variables A, B, C, D. Now this B, whatever is the value of B, whatever is the value of C, whatever is the value of D, it is all these 3 values are processed in a process called P. And whatever is the output of that process, it is being added with the value of A. And then whatever is the result of this addition, it is added with the Mi, where Mi is this sub block 1. Now you know this is 32-bit, this is 32-bit, this is 32-bit, and after processing you will be getting 32-bit, and after adding it with 32-bit A, you will be getting here 32-bit, and that is why the sub block is also of the size of 32-bit. So this 32-bit and this 32-bit will be added together, and then we take a constant value, that is Tk. Constant value is also of 32-bit. Now this 32-bit constant value is added in the output, and then we apply the shift operation. Whatever is the 32-bit value we will be getting over here, we apply shift operation. Now this shift operation, how much shifting is been done on the left hand side, it depends upon the round as well as the iteration process in each round. Because what is happening, Mi is a sub block and there are 16 sub blocks. Similarly, we have a constant Tk. Similarly, we have 16 such constants, and each constant value, each block, sub block value, and each constant value, and then it will be coming to the shift. So if we are using block number sub block 1, what will be the shift value? If we are using, next time we will be using second block, second sub block, so shift value will be different. If we are, and that at that time constant value will also be different. So we will doing the shifting process, and after doing this shifting process, whatever is the value of B, original value of B, it is added with the output of the shifting process, and whatever is the result of this addition, we are going to update the value of A, and B, C and D will remain as it is. So this process is applied to update the value of A by using process P, by adding A, by adding sub block, by adding constant, by shifting, and then by adding value of B to update the value of A. So in this way, this one round used to happen. Now in the second time, what will happen? In this is one round operation. In round number 1, there are 16 iterations. Why? Because previous to the round number 1, we have certain value of ABCD, and with value of ABCD we are applying the sub block and we are applying some constant to get new ABCD. And whenever we are getting new ABCD, this new ABCD will be placed here, and then we apply the process P, then we add, and then we apply the sub block 2, and then we apply the constant 2, second constant, and then we shift the process, do the shifting, and then we add, and then we update A. So in this means that in one round of operation there are 16 iterations which are being done, because we have 16 sub blocks, and after doing this 16 iterations in round 1, we go into the round 2. So in round 2 we will again have a 16 iteration. In round 3 we again have a 16 iteration, and in round 4 we again have a 16 iteration. So there are 16 into 4, there are 64 iteration, and after 64 iteration, A, B, C, D will be modified, and whatever is the value of A, B, C, D, that will be the hash value of first sub block, first block 512-bit. Now let us understand what is the process P, what the process P stands for. Now the process P in each round is different, and what is that process P? In round number 1, the process P is do the AND operation of B and C along with OR operation on NOT B and D, meaning thereby first of all we will do NOT B, and then we will do AND D, and then whatever is the value, it is being ORed with B and C. This is the process P. So in every round we have different processes. If it is round number 1, process will remain same for the 16 iteration, but if whenever it will be round number 2, we will be applying the round number 2 process. and then 16 for 16 iteration we will apply the same process. Now for the round number 3, instead of applying these two process, we will apply this process, and so on. This is an example which has been shown that what is happening in round 1, and in round 1 we have 16 iterations. Similarly, round 2 we have 16 iteration, however I have shown only 9. Similarly, we have round 3 16 iteration, round 4 16 iteration, and there will be 64 iterations in total. So if it is round number 1 and it is the first iteration, so the value of A, B, C, D will be the original value. Whatever the sub block 1, it will be considered as M0, and whatever is shifting, this is the shifting process, 7-bit left shifting is being done, and this is the value of T1. T1 is the constant value, and constant value is taken from this graph, is in this table. This is given by the developer of the who has developed the MD5 algorithm. So this is the value of T1 32-bit, and this is the value of T64. So in this way the constant value. Similarly, whenever it is the round number 1 but it is the second iteration, what do we do? D will become A will become B will become C, and C will become T, and then we apply second sub block. Then shifting process is done 12-bit, and then we apply the second constant. So in this way, in round number 1 we will doing the 16 iteration, but in round number 2, now whatever is the value which you are getting here, B, C, D, A, that will be input to the round number 2. This will be considered as A, this will be considered as B, this will be considered as C, this will be considered as D. So in round 2, when we start the first iteration, it will be A, B, C, D, whatever is the value of that variable. Instead of M0, we will start with M1. Shifting is done 5, and then we will apply the 17th constant, and so on. So this is how this round number 1 and round number 2. Similarly, we have round number 3 and round number 4. I have not shown in the form of a PPT, but similar to that. And you need not require to remember that what is the shifting value, what is the constant value. This is just the illustration that how MD5 algorithm works. As I told you that this is the table for the constant, and so on. So in this way, one 512-bit block, this 512-bit block, whenever it is done, we will be getting the output in the form of a ABCD, and ABCD in the abstracted form it will be 128-bit. It means the message digest which we are getting from applying the message digest MD5 algorithm, the message digest value is of the size of 128-bit. So what is happening? For one such block, we apply 64 iteration. How 64 iteration? 4 rounds, and in each round 16 iterations. So there are 64 iterations. After doing the processing of 512 bits block, suppose the data the message which has to be hashed is having 3 blocks. Then whatever is the output of after the 64th iteration of the block 1, that will become the input of the chaining variable for the block 2. And so the output of the after 64-bit iteration, 64 iteration of the block 2, whatever is the output, that will be the input for the block number 3. And so since this is the last block, so whatever value you will be getting over here after applying 64 iterations in the block 3, the value which you will be getting will be in the form of ABCD, that is 128-bit. That will be the hash value, that will be the fingerprint, that will be the message digest value of the message itself.